From regular podiums at the start of the season to scraping points in recent races, what has happened to Aston Martin? At the start of the season, everyone thought that the Aston Martin and the AMR 23 would be the most likely team to challenge Red Bull and the RB19. But as the season's gone on, they've only seemed to slip further and further back, now being the 5th fastest team at most races. Have Aston been outdeveloped, or is there something more fundamental at play? Before we can try and understand what happened, let's go back to round 1 to set the scene for the rest of the season. In Bahrain, Aston Martin looked comfortably the 2nd fastest, especially in the hands of this guy, finishing 3rd, 38 seconds behind leader Max Verstappen. So, what were the strengths and weaknesses of the AMR 23? These are its strengths, and these are their weaknesses. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, what went wrong? There are multiple theories and suggestions, so let's dive into the first theory. This theory revolves around the change in the Pirelli tyre construction during the British Grand Prix, which is said to have heavily affected the balance and drivability of the AMR 23. This theory was mainly pushed by one person. Personally, I don't think this theory holds any weight at all, and I think it is the weakest theory on the list, which is why I put it first in the video. Flexi wings, the problem that seems to reoccur every year. So this theory goes off the rumours that Aston Martin were using a flexible front wing earlier in the season, and that the FIA caught on to them and asked them to get rid of it, which is what affected their performance. But why would a team want a flexible front wing? According to Blake from the Break F1 channel, which you guys should check out for a more detailed explanation on this, he's done a whole video on it. It's mostly just aero balance, so not drag reduction but aero balance. I mean, this theory is pretty plausible. Alonso himself did say at some points during the season the car became a bit undrivable and didn't feel quite as nice as it did earlier in the season, so there is some possibility to it. But I think there's one more theory that we need to go into. In my opinion, I think this is the theory with the strongest case. I think Aston Martin just got it wrong. So remember earlier when I was talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the AMR 23? Yeah, this is where those come in. Aston knew that if they wanted to be more competitive and bring themselves closer towards Red Bull and maybe challenge by the end of the season, that they had to improve their top speed and efficiency. And this is where all the problems start. They brought small upgrades to Azerbaijan and to Imola, which didn't happen, and during all this time all the results stayed pretty consistent other than Baku, where they were expected to struggle anyways. The AMR 23 finished on the podium in every race other than that, and in Monaco they could have so nearly won. They were literally a few tenths away from getting a win if Alonso got pole. Of course, Max pipped into it. Then came Spain. Both Astons finished a whole minute off the lead at a track which should have suited a lot of their car. But they just seemed to struggle, and not only that, Mercedes and Ferrari leapfrogged well ahead of them. And all of a sudden, Aston didn't seem quite as good. At the next race in Canada, they brought a massive update to help them with their aero efficiency and to improve their top speed a little. And they ended up back on the podium at a track which wasn't supposed to be good for them. So I guess Spain was just a blip, right? Wrong. The following are the finishing positions of both Aston Martins since that upgrade all the way until Qatar. So it looks like at the end of the day, Aston just got it wrong. And with them pretty much guaranteed a P5 at this point, do you think they'll do better next season? Comment below.